This is Pure Vincy on Sweet Radio SVG, and for the season, we're encouraging you to give a sensational Vincy gift. And so, my guests this evening on Pure Vincy are co-authors Sandrina Barrock-Lavia and Kinnike Mandeville-Leacock. They have co-authored the book Adventures of Adam and Zara in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ladies, welcome to Pure Vincy.
Thank you. Good night. Thanks for having us.
Now, you're both from St. Vincent, but you live in different parts of the world. Where are you now, Sandrina?
I'm presently in Toronto, Canada.
And Kinnike?
I'm in Barbados.
All right. So when did you guys leave St. Vincent?
Well, I left St. Vincent December 2009.
I left in March 2009.
So what do you guys do abroad now?
So presently, I'm an educator. I recently completed my supervisor's exams within the city of Toronto, and I am now one of the Black female supervisors within the city of Toronto. I'm proud to say that. And a proud Vincentian as well, because most of the time you hear it's Jamaicans. So proud Black Vincentian. Yes, so that's where I'm at now.
We're proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kinnike, what are you up to?
I'm an architect, but currently I work with a mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineering services company. We do just that, engineering consultations for those services. I manage everything in the office, pretty much, in terms of doing all the drawings, all the admin work, most of the accounting work. I do everything. I do everything in the office. I've been there for about 6 years, and I like it.
So. We have two very, very outstanding Vincy girls representing us abroad. We are too proud. Congratulations, ladies. Continue to do just what you are doing. And you came together, one from Barbados, one from Canada, to co-author this book, Adventures of Adam and Zara. Now, I could see, well, I am just imagining that they had an A to Z of adventures in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What prompted this book?
Basically, during the pandemic, we will visit each other every year pre-pandemic. I remember Zara going there, she meeting Adam for the first time. Poor little Adam couldn't walk. Zara's holding Adam's hand, trying to get him walk. Yeah. So we would visit each other, make sure we go on the beach, even if we spend 4 days in Barbados, go over to St. Vincent visit. So during the pandemic, both of them would video call, and they will be on the calls talking to each other, you know, telling each other about their day. Then Kinnike visited St. Vincent, I think was last year, and Adam wanted to video call Zara everywhere they went to, just to show her the different areas. So Kinnike, maybe you could go on.
Right. So yes. So every time we went out, Adam wanted to video call Zara so she can see it and feel as if she's a part of it, because they weren't able to experience it together. So this was from our first visit after the pandemic, which would have been not after the pandemic, because it's, you know, not really over. But this would have been last year, October, just after he turned 4. And he would call Zara for, you know, every time we went out, when we went to Port Charlotte, Botanical Gardens, and so on. So in January, Sandrina and I were talking. And because Sandrina and I used to talk on the phone almost every morning.
So Adam just took a leaf out of his mother's book.
Yes.
pretty much. Because he and Zara would talk maybe 2 or 3 times per week on the phone as well. You know, before they went to St. Vincent. So in January of this year, Sandrina and I were talking, and we just said, you know what, we should probably write a book about their adventures in St. Vincent. And that's how we came about. That's how we decided to do the book.
What are some, and without letting too much out of the bag, what are some of the most exciting adventures that they've had? In the words of Adam and Zara.
In the words of Adam and Zara, I would say going to the botanical gardens was a big deal. And going across the Rabaco Dry River. Those were two of the most exciting ones.
Sandrina, what has the impact of this publication been?
Well, it have been nothing but positive. Like a lot of Vincentians who have not gotten the opportunity for their children to visit St. Vincent thought it was an amazing experience reading the different places in St. Vincent, and it felt like this was some of what I received. It felt like if the children were right there, so now everybody want to visit St. Vincent.
Yeah.
So it's exciting that, you know, even adults who have Vincentian parents who have not been to St. Vincent, it prompts them to want to go to St. Vincent. So it have been positive.
So it's a teaching tool and a tourism brochure.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If I could just come in there a minute, one person actually wrote a review stating that they think that the book should actually be in schools. And it was a donation. Somebody also donated to one of the primary schools, donated a few copies to the library in one of the primary schools. And the teacher stated that she thinks that it should actually be a social studies tool.
Is this in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
In St. Vincent, yes, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Okay. Yeah.
So are you working on that?
Hopefully we can early in the new year. I know that a lot of people were busy with independence and now it's the holidays. So hopefully early in the new year's that we could get that aspect, and hopefully they would see, at least if they get a copy and read the book and see what it really is about.
Actually, I quite like the idea of having it in schools because unfortunately, although St. Vincent is a small country, we still have children who have not visited certain places in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this could certainly fire up their imagination and their curiosity and their inquiring minds. And even if they don't get to actually visit the places, at least they will have some sort of a mental visual of what St. Vincent and the Grenadines is all about. So I do hope to see it in the schools sometime very soon. And is it that this is a part of a series?
Yes, it is. We're hoping that next year we can have, there's also the second book coming out probably a little before the middle of next year, Adam and Zara's Grenadine Story Time. So that should be out before the middle of next year. Then we also have A to Z, We Love the Caribbean. That's another one. And just a few other Caribbean books.
So
it's a series, yes.
That's going to be fantastic. Any consideration for animating?
We haven't thought about that.
One of my pet peeves is the fact that most of the children under, say, 10 years old who have access to YouTube have an American accent, because all of the content that they consume is North American. So they have the accent. And I'm thinking, well, where's our content? It's not that we don't have interesting content or that we can't create interesting content. And I would love to see this converted into something that children can follow and share.
Yes.
So that's something we can look at, Sandrina. We can look at that.
I notice you have an activity page, so it's not just something to read. There's an activity page. What was the idea behind that?
That's Kinnike Project Cleo. So I'm going to let Kinnike.
Yes, I put in the activity page because I figured you don't just want, the book is really for children between the age of 3 to 10. So as a 3-year-old reading, a 3-year-old cannot read the book. The parents would read the book for the child and make it as fun and exciting and interactive as possible, right? So, and then an older child would be able to read the book. We've made it as simple as possible and as comprehensive as possible for an older child to read on his or her own. So the point of the activity page was to continue to be interactive, where the children, whether 3 years to 10 years, whatever age, would be able to try to remember some of the things that were done, that they read in the book. So you have fill in the blanks. So, and you will have things like the volcano, etc. And then a word search and a coloring page. So everybody, so the youngest child would be able to color the page. The oldest child, which would be 10 or a little above, would be able to do the fill in the blanks. The maybe a 6-7-year-old might be able to do the word search, because by that point they would be able to, you know, identify words and circle and so on. I actually had an adult who read the book recently and said she did the activity page and she couldn't. She said she was so surprised by some of the words in the words, in not the word search, in the fill in the blank. She said she could not, it was a little bit, you know, more, not more advanced, but she had to actually go back and read the book again to see if she could figure it out. So it would keep you reading several times.
And this is an 80-page book that is now available on Amazon. You have it in 3 formats.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can get a hard copy, you can get the paperback, and you can get the digital download.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And how have sales been going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I would say they have been going quite well. Not surprisingly, because we've been advertising and so on, and you know, but it's good. It's good. Most people purchase the paperback so far, right, Sandrina?
Yeah, the paperback was the most sales. Yeah.
Yes, the most sales.
Sandrina, you are an architect. Sandrina, sorry, you're an educator, and Kinnike, you're an architect. Now, even though you're an educator, it is one thing to teach. How difficult is it to write to appeal to children?
Well, my study basically is geared to early literacy, and as we were coming up with the different terminologies and aspect of the books, I think that's where Kinnike leaned on me for that part of it, to make sure it was children friendly. But it was not too difficult because of my educational training. We just wanted to make sure that we had that wide span for that age group, because different children develop differently. And once a child is being read to, like on a regular basis, their early literacy develop faster. And we wanted to make sure that it could go to that span for children within that age group, because that's the age group where you see they could, a 4-year-old could read as a 6-year-old, because I remember one of Zara reports, she actually was reading at 2 grades ahead of her grade presently. And that's because of early literacy. And getting into early literacy is very important. So we wanted to make sure and encourage people as well, the importance of it, especially in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
No, I know that naturally the success of the project is actually the publication and sale of the book. What were some of the challenges that you had in putting the project together and getting it to market?
Getting the flag right.
Getting the flag right. Oh my goodness, that was. I think
that was Kinnike's pet peeve.
Oh my gosh, that was my biggest thing. I think we chose a publisher who is not from the Caribbean. And we chose this publisher because he had everything. Now, I think we made the best choice because we got everything in one. We didn't have to worry about much. I think the first pet peeve that we had, Sandrina, would have been the clothes that they put on us. Everything Cleo was long sleeve and long pants, right? So then we had to just go back to them and tell them, no, we're in the Caribbean. You need to change this to shorts and t-shirts and, sandals and Caribbean clothes. And then the flag was the next thing, because I think after staring at the cover, we had to get the cover right. The cover had to be perfect to draw you in, to draw children in, to make parents want to purchase it for these children. But we also had to get, the flag was very important on it. And we went through several iterations and we got it right. But for some reason, on the first day, it went out wrong. The flag was wrong. So then we had to get back to the publisher, get that sorted, get it fixed, and upload again. And uploading takes 24 hours on Amazon. So that was our biggest challenge, just getting it right. And it is correct now. However, they have flipped it. So when you look at the flag, it looks as if you're looking at it from the back of the flag. But it's correct in terms of the blue being next to the pole and so on. But yes, that was our biggest issue, really. Just getting them. Everything went well up until that flag part.
Yeah.
So what about the behind the scenes discussions and disagreements as to what to put in and what to leave out?
We didn't have any.
Didn't happen.
We did not have any. We wrote this book in 4 days.
Yes.
We wrote this book in 4 days, I think, because we knew the children gave us the content. Yes. So it was easy to write it, and we wrote it in the voices of the children. So it was very easy. We wrote it how they speak. So it was easy. We knew where they went. We knew everything. We wrote it in 4 days.
So from concept to Amazon, how long did it take you?
It took us a while. It took us 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
Concept would have been in January.
Yes.
Well, about Sandrina, it actually took 9 months because we came up with it in January, but it took a little while. We wrote it in January in 4 days, but it took us a while to find a publisher. Yes. So then we found the person, I think was in April, and that's when we started to go through the process.
But what is the process like? Because it seems like a fairly lengthy thing from April to September.
Yes, it can be. It was just tweaking the and then the financial aspect of it.
Reading their documents, making sure we had to get a lawyer to read through their documents, making sure everything was accurate. We knew what we were signing on to, so that took a while as well.
And then remember, we're also working, so then it would have taken a while in terms of us coordinating, our time, and then with them, because the publisher was 2 hours behind us. So, and obviously they're dealing with other clients as well. So that's what took a little while, and but that was pretty much it.
We spoke about your writing. What about the illustration? Are you responsible for that as well?
No, the publisher did everything. He had the illustrator. All we had to do was send pictures of the families, my family and Sandrina's family.
And the sceneries.
And the sceneries. So because they had visited these places already, we sent them and they just incorporated everything.
So considering that you have a series planned, what are the takeaways from Adventures of Adam and Zara that you want to apply to the subsequent publications?
We have to be very patient, first of all, with the whole process, because all the other books are ready. They're all ready, but we also have to wait on the publisher. We have to wait on financing. So it's a lengthy process. So that's one thing. I think now it might be a little bit easier with the others because they know what we look like. They have mastered those images. So that is easier right now. Um, Anything else, Sandrina?
Well, basically that's it. Coming up with the funding, ensuring it's there. That's about it.
Yeah.
And what guidance would you give to people who have written and now need to publish?
Just have patience. Make sure they have the right publisher. Make sure, as we did, get a lawyer to go through the documentation, ensure it's correct, and everything is patient and continue reviewing what you submit.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
You said make sure you have the
And make
right.
sure you're satisfied. Make sure you're completely
Yeah.
satisfied with all the illustrations, the
Yes.
font, the content, every single thing. Because you're spending on this and you have to make sure you're satisfied with the product, the end product, and put yourself in other people's shoes. Would somebody want to buy this? What do you think? As somebody outside looking in, would you want to buy this, and so on.
You said make sure you have the right publisher. What is a right publisher?
Well, you have to do your research. And we did our research. I think Kinnike had someone who referred the publisher as well. So even though they were referred, we also did our research. We did the professional background check for the publishers as well. So, we're living in this world with a lot of technology, a lot of people posing to be who they're not. So you want to make sure you have a reputable publisher.
Okay. Now, Kinnike, I know you said that someone left a review, but this is an adult who left a review and said that she thinks it is something that should be included on the school curriculum. What are the kids saying? The primary audience, what are they saying?
I've only really spoken to parents. I know my son, one is in his school, and I asked the teacher about the response from the children, and she said they absolutely loved it. She did reading time with them, and they loved it, and they answered questions, they asked questions, and she made it very interactive for them. I think Sandrina would have gotten more reviews from children.
Yes. I had 2 grade 3s who read the book, and it was overwhelming. The children, I think up until today, Zara was telling me some of her friends were talking about St. Vincent and the adventure. So they were so excited that, some of them wanted to visit St. Vincent. And they talk about the activity page. They remember the name of the places that Zara visited. And they were excited that they know a real life author, Zara's mom.
And how are Zara and Adam dealing with this?
Well, first, Zara said I didn't ask her permission. So I have to put that out there. I did not get clarifications or any legal agreement from Zara to put it out there, just in case in the future. But she said I didn't ask her permission, but she's okay now with it.
Adam loves the spotlight. He's 5 years old, and he comes home and he says, "Mommy, it's in the library at school and everybody's reading it." And yesterday we were talking about something in school, and he said, "Mommy, my favorite book is Adventures of Adam and Zara in St. Vincent and the Grenadines." And I said, "Really?" Really? So he loves it. He likes the stories, and when he looks at the pictures, he says, "Oh my goodness, Mommy, we went there. Remember we went there? Remember I went across that bridge with Granny and Granddad?" So he's very excited about it. He's very excited. Yes.
Other than the continuing of the series, what's next for you as authors?
We haven't thought about that as yet.
Yeah.
Right now, this is where we are because we like this so far. And it's still fresh. It hasn't been a
Yeah.
year as yet. So we're just, doing what we can with this for now,
Yeah.
advertising and so on.
And we really wanted to leave the legacy for Zara and Adam
And
as
Adam,
well.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
being moms when you're old not, I don't want to say older because not like I'm that much older, but when you're that much older, we wanted to leave something for Adam and Zara so they could look back at and
Mhm.
enjoy, and you never know.
I want to bring you back to the fact that you migrated as adults. What were some of the things that you learned or became aware of after you'd moved that you wish you knew before you'd left?
One for me, I don't want to sound like bias or anything like that. I lived in New York, and moving to Canada, it's all about race here in Canada. It's all about the saying like a black person getting ahead or being more educated, and it's very subtle, so you wouldn't see it like at hand. And I wish I had more knowledge of what it really was like here. And I didn't let it stop me, but it was all a learning experience for me. Like I never experienced it in New York. I never experienced it in the Caribbean. So coming here, it was a big change.
And Kinnike?
Yeah.
The big change for me was fruits and vegetables because in Barbados they don't really grow that much. So just finding the basic things that I would find at home, I can't find here. That's one. That's the main thing for me because um, my parents have everything at home. They have almost a little farm, and I can't get anything here. I have to pay for everything. My market lady is actually a Vincentian. So, I that's one thing I miss from St. Vincent. That is one thing I said, I try to do for myself here as well in terms of planting a little garden and so on. Um, that was a big shock for me moving here, not being able to get things. You think it's in the Caribbean and you'll be able to get everything just the same.
I could imagine. I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't get my hands on the fruits that I am so
Correct.
used to now, that I take
Correct.
for granted, actually.
Yeah, correct. Exactly. Exactly. I buy avocados for $6.
Ooh,
Just about it.
wow,
That's $3 US. Yeah.
dear.
Yeah. So just basic things like that.
What do you consider to be pure Vincy?
Soca music.
Nothing else needs to be said.
There you go.
Nothing else.
Nothing else.
Kinnike, what do you think is pure Vincy?
The friendliness of the people and the helpfulness of Vincentians. Definitely. It's unmatched. Can't find it anywhere else in the Caribbean. And I've been to many islands.
Pure Vincy. I want to thank you both for joining me on the program. I want to wish you the very best with Adventures of Adam and Zara in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And those of you out there looking to give a very unique and sensational Vincy gift, please give the gift of The Adventures of Adam and Zara in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's on Amazon, and you can get it in 3 formats. You can get the paperback, you can get the hardback, and you can get the digital download. And when you get it, don't just pay your money, take it away and read it. Go back to Amazon, leave a review, rate it, because this is how the books get popularized and how it comes to the attention of more and more people. So please, when you visit, buy it, go back and then review it and let others know the joys of the adventures of Adam and Zara in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Sandrina, Kinnike, thank you so much for joining me. Very best wishes, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the series.
Thank you so much for having us, Cleo. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes.